Well, hey, sports fans, Larry Eater, RunBlogRun. I hope you're having a just spectacular week. This is the intermittent series, Convos with Larry. We're trying to keep it at 10 to 15 minutes. So Mike has this kind of cattle prod taser that he just kind of taps me, at 5 minutes, 7.5, and 10, and that stuff. But I think we can do it. Our topic this week is I talked last week about the Diamond League. This week, I'm going to talk about some of the smaller meets who, in truth, were probably as important, if not more important, than the Diamond League. Allow me to explain. When the pandemic was beginning in April of 2020, our friends at World Athletics came up with, thanks to Renaud Lavillenie, Air Lavillenie, the former world record holder in the pole vault, the Garden Pole Vault Series. Now, garden events were nothing new. Craig Rutherford had done a long jump that way, and I just wanted to be back there drinking beers, Craig. But that's another story. And the response to it was tremendous. If I recall from my memory, we had about 110,000 people view our comments on it over the first 24 hours. And that's Diamond League numbers. And what it told me was people were really interested, And it was one of those places where I didn't have a photographer, so I was taking pictures from the screen, posting them, and pretty much image and a short content, and people loved it. This last winter, 2021, showed me the power of vision. Paul Doyle, who is one of the finest managers in our biz, is also a man who has been trying to launch the American Track League for a few years. Someone tried to steal it from him a few years ago, which really annoyed the hell out of me. And the idea is great. The thing that Paul needed was money. He did the first meet, and within the first, this is back in January, and in the first 5 minutes, Ryan Krauser broke the world record. But because they were such a limited budget, the two announcers just didn't even have the approved record and didn't have stats. And we got great numbers. I got 85,000 impressions making comment with my girlfriend taking pictures from the screen. And it told us that people just were starving, even for bad TV. And I'm not trying to give Paul trouble. Somehow, USATF got involved. And I suspect it was from their TV group. And Max put some money into the program. And the next program, a week later, was night and day. The quality of the broadcast, the quality of the announcing, the announcers actually getting information that they needed. I mean, there was always still a little bit of that. But each meet, the American Track League got better. And USATF announced that they were going to help the series. I was very, very pleased. The next thing that came along was Miles of Trials, Trials of Miles. Chris Chavez over at Sidious Mag and also with Sports Illustrated. It was a learning experience for Chris. They did an amazing job. They tied in with the Miles of Trials people putting on meets around the country. And it was streamed. They had good announcing. The competitions were good. It also taught us something that you don't have to have records all the time. I'm terribly disappointed with one of the things that happens in track and field is we have to have records. We don't. Great competition is what this sport's about. Now, Trials of Miles, for most of their early season, supported middle and long distance running, and they had great athletes showing up. It was pretty much like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Our friend Jesse Williams, formerly of Brooks, owns Sound Running. And Jesse's been doing meets with Under Armour for a couple years. His meets got more inventive this year, and the challenge of having 40 athletes or 80 athletes for a week, taking care of hotel, keeping them safe, keeping them fed, keeping them trained. I can't conceive of it. I think that doing an event in the pandemic is craziness. But Jesse has learned. Jesse had a good crew supporting him. One of our friends, Craig Vanderhoff, is among the group that does it. And they did a great job. They didn't let fans in. They controlled the focus of the meet. They controlled the performances. They controlled the amount of photos and video using Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So they used social media to the max. They were able to do more streaming. And then the folks at Miles of Trials started charging, I think it was like $5.95 to $9.95 for the meets. And they were donating that money to the purse. And people seemed to really dig it. I then went to my first live meet since February of 2020 was Portland Track Classic and then Stumptown Track Classic. Correct me. I had been at Hayward Field to see a couple meets there with 200 people in the stands. At the Portland and Stumptown, it was mostly athletes who were competing. People wearing masks, people keeping socially distanced pretty well. The streaming, again, supporting some of the money for various purses and things. But what it told me was that there are about 40 meets between Miles of Trials, American Track League, and Sound Running in 2021 in North America. The majority of them had no help from USA Track and Field, which I think USA Track and Field should put 500 to $1 million aside and say, look, we got 41 million. We're just going to help these guys. Here's the standards. Let's help them raise the quality of their broadcast. Let's help them raise the promotion. Let's help them keep stuff safe. Help them with hotels and food bills. We can't do everything, but we can help. That is the kind of thing that I think USA Track and Field should be doing, and World Athletics. And World Athletics does do that. It helps the federations. But again, Miles of Trials, Sound Running, American Track League, many of those events should stay around. I think there needs to be some standards. You just don't put crap on TV. When you put crap on TV, it puts our sport back, and we can't afford that. The Tokyo Olympics coverage was spectacular. The Diamond League meets, I can't think of a poorly done Diamond League meet, with the exception of losing the last 10 minutes of the meeting to Paris and it never being replaced. That befuddled me. But I think that these smaller meets show us that there's an opportunity, and that with $5,000 to $20,000, you can put something into a meet like that and really influence it. And I applaud everybody for doing that. I think Chris Chavez, I remember Chris telling me when we did an interview that raising money for these meets was a challenge, but he got people from all over. And that's kind of the cool thing. Like the good old days, advertising is not terrible. Advertising allows you to do things. So all of my projects have been based around advertising. I had to raise $1.5 million to keep my magazines going on a yearly basis. I don't do print anymore, but I still have a pretty good nut to crack to keep things going. And there's a lot of years it gets to be really challenging. But that's what free press is about. And between Miles of Trials, Sound Running, and American Track League, I think you have three groups that if you've got a few bucks, or if you just save up some burrito money, find an event that you can tie into, that you can volunteer, you can help, see how you can help promote it. I am totally against paywalls for these small meets, with the exception of what some of these meets are doing to raise prize purses. Totally cool. $5.95, $9.95. That's, quite frankly, the cost of a Russian stout that I had the other night. So those things are good. But so for your consideration, be grateful for the 40 or so wonderfully fun meets we've had this year. Some better quality than others, but everybody's heart was there. And that's what's important. And it's taught us in North America and other places in the world. Really, North America is where most of these meets really flourished. That if we do it, they will come. We just got to find some money. We got to upgrade the quality of some things. This is Larry Eater with RunBlogRun. This is Conversations with Larry. We were talking about being thankful for the 40 boutique bespoke meets that happened across the U.S. in 2021. Look forward to seeing more. Take care.